I think employee networks cannot be underestimated in terms of their effectiveness and their importance. And I think an encouragement for individuals is to say, don't just feel that you have to be a member of one single network. You know, there's lots of intersectionality for all of us. You know, we have different aspects to our identity, which will be reflected in different networks. I think the key thing for an organization is to really put these networks at the heart of the business strategy. When I was at EY, over 50% of our UK workforce was a member of one or more networks. So these are hugely powerful things to bring people together in a supportive environment. And one of the ways that we made them more relevant to the business was to put them at the heart of our learning and development strategy, and also at the heart of our client strategy. So whether that was the LGBT network or the women's network, we were connecting with clients on topics that were relevant to members of those network communities. And it was incredibly powerful to see how the business responded to seeing our major clients in our workplace talking about some of these topics. And it really encouraged a much richer dialogue within the firm. Rupert, I don't know what your experience is at Mercer.
Well, I became an ally back in, I think, 2013 or 14. And being a member of the network just enabled me to attend meetings and slowly learn. And I suppose if you'd asked me before I became an ally, how well did I know the lived experience, both in the office and outside the office, of someone who was LGBTQ, I would have said, well, I'm pretty good, I think. But the reality is that I wasn't at all. I didn't understand it at all. So I attended meetings, so I learnt. I was moved in many cases by what my colleagues had been through and were going through. And it enabled me to learn, to understand, and then, when necessary, ask questions. So I found it enormously helpful, and it sort of opened my eyes, really.
I saw in action this really effectively with one of our new graduates that joined the firm a few years ago. And at our graduate sort of welcome event, she'd seen me on stage, you know, senior partner, talking about my my coming out experience at the office. And she'd come to work for us with her mother's advice to say, for goodness sake, don't tell them that you're a lesbian. And she was completely conflicted with seeing me on the one hand on stage, and with her mother's advice, I'm sure given with love, to not be out. And I was able to direct her to our LGBT network, to a bunch of people who were much closer to her age than I was, who were really able to support her and reassure her through her you know, joining the firm and getting her comfortable with being out in the firm. It was incredibly important for her.
I've had serious mental health issues, and I've always felt extremely lonely when I've been ill. Not lonely when I haven't been ill, everything seemed fine. But when I've been ill, I felt extremely lonely and vulnerable. And it's at exactly that point that you need to have someone you can speak to in confidence and that you have faith in.